What are the plans? First preseason game. How are the Panthers approaching it? Starter's going to play? Is it what have you been told by Dave Canales, head coach, relative to their plans?
The Panthers are going to play their starters. That includes quarterback Bryce Young, and that also includes many offensive starters and many defensive starters. It's unclear if they're going to play the running backs. Obviously, the running backs take a lot of hits during the regular season, so I would imagine that Chuba Hubbard, the starting running back, doesn't get a lot or doesn't play on Friday. I would find it difficult to imagine that Rico Dowdle, the number two running back, gets a lot of play. But I do imagine Trevor Etienne playing, who is a fourth round draft pick for the Panthers. On the defensive side of the ball, however, the Browns offense will be going up against a Panthers defense without their two best players. The first is Derek Brown. Derek Brown was a Pro Bowler in 2023, defensive lineman. He is coming off of a season where he only played one game because of a knee injury. Now, interestingly, the knee is fine, but he's suffering like a rib and oblique injury this training camp. So he is going to be uh, mostly sidelined for the preseason and won't play on Friday, according to Canales. And also, Pro Bowl cornerback J.C. Horn will also not play on Friday. He was expected to play, but actually coming into training camp today, like literally on his way to work, he got into a car accident and had to get a couple stitches in his thumb area. So he's not going to play on Friday either, which if you're Browns fans, that does give you the opportunity to see, okay, here's what we got in Shedeur Sanders, like without the Panthers' two best players on defense.
Who are some guys on defense that have played well in camp that you guys have been impressed with Panthers?
Yeah. One guy that immediately springs to mind is the Panthers' inside linebacker, Trevin Wallace. I imagine that his name is gonna be called a lot on Friday. Trevin is a third round pick from 2024, and he is this really athletic, really big, really fast linebacker who is kind of getting thrown into the deep end because of because the other inside linebacker for the Panthers, who they were really counting on, Josie Jewell, actually got released by the team at the beginning of training camp because he is still suffering from concussion-like symptoms from a concussion that happened in Week 16 of 2024. So, yeah, this inside linebacker crew for the Panthers is pretty young and pretty light on depth. In fact, actually, now that I'm talking about it, the third string inside linebacker got hurt today for the Panthers. So you're going to hear a lot from Trevin Wallace. You're going to hear a lot from the other inside linebacker in Christian Rosemoon because the Panthers run this 4-3 scheme, or excuse me, a 3-4 scheme that uses two inside linebackers. So you're going to hear a lot from Trevin Wallace, Christian Rosemoon, and then the other big guy that Browns fans should probably know is Mike Jackson, the other big cornerback opposite of J.C. Horn.
All right, before I let you go, how has Bryce Young performed as a whole? You said he was pretty good today, especially with McMillan. How has he looked in training camp? And I know he was trending the right direction late last year. Has that continued? Have you seen the continued growth?
Yeah, that's mostly continued. Bryce Young is among the maybe I shouldn't be this authoritative when I say this, but for my eyes, he's among the streakiest quarterbacks of the last year, really, and of this training camp. It just seems like when he gets it going, he can really be quite unbelievable, and he can string together completions, and he can be this creative guy who is just it's almost like he's a different player, honestly, when he gets a couple of completions under his belt and that confidence is up afterward. But he does struggle to get that momentum going sometimes. And you've seen that this training camp, the two times the Panthers have had, or the three times now the Panthers have had pads on, he's played really, really well, and that continued today. He had a really sharp day, even if the receivers weren't coming down with the ball. Head coach Dave Canales was really pleased with this third-year quarterback. Um, I I just think that he's really streaky, and the next step is going to be consistently being a starting quarterback for 18 weeks. And if he can do that, then he can take a further step of justifying his number one overall pick selection in 2023. Because now the goal is to prove that he is a starting quarterback for 18 weeks. That's the goal. And through training camp, he's done his thing so far.